A new round of applause, please. I know that the event is after lunch, but let's have some energy. Thank you, sir. Thank you, ma'am. May I request you to be seated? So, as in every event, we have a tradition to start our events, our guest lectures, our workshops with lamp lighting ceremony. So, I would like to request our Dean, Professor Deepa Arya, and our guest for the day, Dr. Vikramaditya Kumar Chaudhary, along with Dr. Om Prakash Kushwaha, Dr. Chetan Bhatt, to please come forward for the lamp lighting ceremony, please. May I also request Dr. Monica to please come forward for the lamp lighting. The applause must go on, please. Thank you, sir. Thank you, ma'am. As we move forward, I would like to introduce you to the guest of the day. Dr. Vikramaditya Kumar Chaudhary is Assistant Professor at the Center for the Study of Regional Development, School of Social Sciences, Jawaharlal Nehru University, which is one of the best social sciences university in India and amongst the top ranking universities of the world. So please put your hands together for that one. So before joining GNU in 2013, he taught for about 9 years at Banaras Hindu University. He worked on different aspects of health and urban lives. Dr. Chaudhary has 3 books to his credit and over 24 papers published in national and international journals. His current interests include urban health, urban culture, spatial transformation, cultural claims, water and sanitation in cities, issues of ethics and role of pharmaceuticals in tuberculosis therapeutics, ethical issues in research and community engagement. He was awarded Emerging Scholar Award for the Regional Development and Planning. So the list of his honors and credentials is endless and goes on and on. Please, I would request you all to put your hands together once again for Dr. Vikramaditya Kumar Chaudhary. Sir, may I now request you to please come to the stage for the lecture.
Good afternoon. Honorable Dean, colleagues, students, and other members of the university. It's an honor always to talk to academic community inside or outside my own university and my own country. It's a pleasure to talk to you all today on a topic which I have decided to discuss at the course of your COVID myth and media. Uh, can we So friends and colleagues, I'm sure that all of us are aware of something which I'm going to talk today. And I will not talk something which is alien to any one of us, at least at this point of time. For last 3 years, and still I would say that COVID remains an ongoing phenomenon. And why is it so? Because I'm sure the students and teachers, all of us have been impacted in multiple ways, like being out of classroom or being part of the teaching learning process. I would say pretending to be with a certain degree of understanding and also with a certain degree of acknowledgement, because whatever happens, we live in an era where there is a large scale knowledge gap and digital divide, which we are all aware. And then the second word that I have chosen, I thought to bring it basically, Dr. Om Prakash being an old friend, and actually this work that we were doing together during COVID, when we used to walk on the deserted streets of my own campus. And then the work progressed and he between trying to do, and then he said, that's why you don't come and talk to the students directly. So thank you, Dr. Om Prakash, for inviting me here to the land which I always like because it's supposedly one of the most elite space of retired people in the country, along with Bangalore. In our childhood, that's what we thought, that Dehradun is an elite place where people who are retired from especially the armed forces and not less than the rank of general, or at least the colonel and lieutenant general who could be having the house in Dehradun, independent house. So when we used to come, we used to see that. But having said so, these are the and any organ of the society, including media, is not untouched with the myths that we will be seeing. Our lives are part of myth. All of us are myth in terms of whether we imagine from where humans have come. Until, say, Darwin, and even after Darwin, theologians are not ready to accept the theory of evolution, and still there is a theory of creativity or theory of creation in different religions. And in India, the dominant religion doesn't believe in theory of creation. Here it's a belief in the cyclic theory of time. So there are different phases of human and other entities that are there. These are large scale myths. But why the myth is so acceptable despite having a myth? Many people would argue that we have a history of science, and if science is so evidence-based, then why still myth continue to be the life of people? Something which is life of people cannot be denied at every level. It is, I would say, it is not appropriate to ignore those myths. So myth, but myths are at a multiple level. I am talking right now as a universal myth, which 8 billion people somehow engages with. But myth also comes to us in form of miracles. So miracles allow myth to create and perpetuate itself over a period of time. If there are no miracles, there will be no myth. So myth and miracles go together. But let's come to the COVID, and then we see that how myth plays itself in different forms of life for all of us. To start with, so some of the outline, like December 2019, first time it was reported there is something new which is happening in China. And after that, there is a large scale uncertainty. Uncertainty is the key concept of myth, whichever theory that we try to put into. Why uncertainty allows us to myth? Because you can imagine. So we were not sure that what is coming. So people started thinking one would look at. So
Please carry on. Trying to this topic.
मैम उधर को जाने देंगे
So I want to inform you all that we have with us our Vice Chancellor, Professor Dr. Preeti Kotiyal, and please put your hands together.
Thank you for being here. It's an honor to have the Vice Chancellor for a usual lecture. I'm sure that this university is in good hands because the Vice Chancellor find time to come to an academic program. Definitely the academic future of the university is in bright.
yes
Thank you, ma'am, for being here. We have just started, I started talking in terms of the idea of myth, that why an uncertainty that allows myth to create itself and can also continue in the society that we have. And in the context of COVID, but please also let us agree that health is something which is culturally constructed. And if you look at the large history of human life, at one point of time, all forms of illnesses was supposed to be curse of some entity which is not known to us, and those curses can come in form of illness. But then from there we come to the Ramanujan theory of disease, and now we have the diagnostic and lab test which tells us exactly the cause of different diseases, including that of whether it is tuberculosis or cancer or whatever disease that we suffer. So, but when COVID came in 2019, world was uncertain. We did not know what is going on. Whether it is a kind of something as a lab-grown output, something which is by mistake has come, or a virus has jumped a species. We are not sure. We were not sure then that what had happened. Whether it is a rat, snake, family, which one had jumped a species and this virus has suddenly come to the human shape. We were still not sure even that this particular disease is transmitted from human to human or human to animal, or the transmission chain, that if it is airborne transmission, if it is a fluid-borne transmission, or if it is transmitted by human touch, we were all unaware of. And this uncertainty allows myths to be created. So people started multiple types of myths that in the beginning, all of you, and I'm saying that all of you are grown up, including our students, I'm sure that you have participated as much as we have participated, or those who were not with us. The millions people died across the world, including in India. They all have participated in those myths at some point of time in one or other way. So India, first time when we came to know in January that there is something, this virus has reached India. The responses were multiple types that we saw. Until March, when India officially acknowledged and started restrictions, there were denial. So the first form is the denial. So we try to deny as a human. Whenever there is a threat, we try to deny that, okay. So the fanatics, those who are in power, and what kind of fanaticism is supported by power, such fanaticism group. Whether you take the case of United States, where the then President, Mr. Trump, said that this is a hoax. He continued to say that COVID is hoax until he himself got infected. And then, still after being fine, he said that because of this chloroquine, I am fine. He still doesn't tell the people that what is happening. Or the then Prime Minister of Britain, who had to actually lose his job only to mismanagement of COVID, Mr. Boris Johnson. He was also in denial. Thankfully, Indian Prime Minister was not in denial. He never said that COVID is a box. Yes, there are problems with that. There were myths associated with the functionality of the government, but there was no denial of the right. People did deny in India from different sources, and there, what we call is also the overconfidence that particular substance will cure. What it has done, we are still studying, and we are not sure that how many of us are having what we call long COVID, post-COVID, or whatever. But let us look at the initial outcomes and then having connected to the myth and media that how it happened. So these are undisputed claims that comes during the period. So the ILO said that about 1.6 billion workers across the world, this is the global statistics, lost the job in the economy. Why? Because of lockdown. And what they say that because of it, more people will be part of the informal economy, and India being almost 86% of Indian economy is in the informal sector. So we are war, that's one of the major challenges that people have to face collectively. So the future of labor market was as the students and faculty of mass media were taught to add that there was an important song that was created by Anubhav Sinha during that period and enacted by Manoj Bajpayee, which says, so those who have seen that song, it is somewhere similar to 50 crore more people. So that basically talks about migration and mobility of the people. Why mobility is important and why I am bringing labor market? Because one of the key problems during COVID was identified was movement of people. And that is what the lockdown did. So everybody was supposed to be where they are right there. Even if we look at India, so what is needed? If there is a labor market collapse, if there is an informality, that means people will have no money to feed. And that's the reason that social assistance program became important. Government of India until recently said that 80 crore families are being supported by the government in food. That also means that if these 80 crore people were not supported, then they are below the level of subsistence. That they cannot ensure food without government support. That's where we are. So we look at in India, that I told you that if you look at 85% people are in the informal sector as the Niti Aayog report tells. I'm taking the 18-19 because that's the last report that we had in COVID. Because after that only, whatever happened is the impact of food. So we cannot take that data to analyze the condition of food. So if we look at 93% workers are in the informal sector as per the economic survey of the government. So what is the crisis? Is a humanitarian fallout. That the people who are not working, what will they do? And that's where the question of mobility comes, which brings us to creation of multiple nets, where that it started. India started with a 3 week of lockdown. It started with 1 week of lockdown, which was, say, a kind of demo lockdown, so people are aware what is happening. 1 day of opening, and then lockdown for 3 weeks. With an announcement, the government said that in 3 weeks, we will be able to take care of the menace. Unfortunately, it turned out to be a myth because. And why that myth? There was uncertainty. Rather than putting a kind of sinister design on part of the government, let us put it to the uncertainty that was there, and because nobody knew what had happened. So the only thing was when we announced the lockdown, the caution should have been, we do not say that it is only for 3 weeks. Because what happened that if it is only for 3 weeks, people thought it is a breakdown. So people started coming up with on the Instagram and Reel and on WhatsApp and Facebook, the photo of quote unquote husbands cooking. That's absolutely a sinister plan. I do not believe in it, and that's what I'm saying, quote unquote. So that I'm having time with my kids. So all kinds of, as if that is the something that they were missing in their entire life. And COVID is an opportunity. It was, I'm talking of the early 2020. March 2020, when India was still in a celebratory mode about COVID. And then definitely the next round of lockdown which came of 9 minutes, 9 hour, whatever, tali thali and 9 minutes ki Diwali. All of it actually, no, because please understand that these are the creation of men for purpose. And the purpose was to create a solidarity amongst the people. Unfortunately, it acted as a reverse because it became something like that's a government agenda. So those who are with the government, they thought it is mandatory to do. Those who are critical of government for whatever reason, say in a democracy, everybody doesn't vote for one party. Definitely 30-40% people vote for one political party which becomes the ruling party. And in lifetime of each one of us, we must have been governed by multiple political parties. We might have seen 4 or 5 prime ministers and 6, 7 or 8 chief ministers taking together multiple party ruling. So let's not get swayed with the binary of opposition or supporter. Unfortunately, in the crisis time of COVID, it happened. So what happened during COVID? That these myths, which were supposedly on purpose created, so that people will be standing with each other, resulted in opposition. So that when lockdown restricted people to move, the informal sector, 93% population, as per the economic survey, or 85% as per Niti Aayog, they became jobless. They are not salaried workers. So their wages come on the basis of their everyday work. There were benevolent employer, and benevolent employer paid their employee salary of certain time. Even the government, even the Prime Minister said that people must continue to pay, even if you pay 50%. How long? 3 weeks, everybody was happy paying. After that, 4 another week, people thought, okay, let's keep the cushion which we have accumulated. So let us finish, let's do thinning out of the cushion and continue. After that, it became non-profitable because production process was completely closed. Definitely then it becomes impossible to sustain. And what we saw, people started, they were branded, there from there the myth and the role of media started. So first time in Bombay, that point of time there was a government of a party which is other than the ruling party in Delhi.
Yes.
So media started saying that these are the people who actually want to defame Modi, and that is why they are on a street trying to create a spread COVID. Which was not the truth.
Yes.
The truth was that these people had nothing to eat. So they thought maybe when they would go back to their villages, they one level the myth is in a section of media that these people are doing this because they want to take revenge from the Prime Minister, which is not true.
Yes, sir.
The second level of myth was that they were spreading COVID, because we were not sure that these people were walking if they had COVID or not. So the challenge that is, so many have moved in multiple ways. I'm not going through that what had happened. But let's come to that different episode during that period of time. So when we look at the 2 major outbreaks we identified in India, one that is the common source of outbreak, those the people who have traveled from outside. Please understand the source of COVID was Wuhan in China. So COVID had to come by transmitting from Wuhan to somewhere to India, or directly from Wuhan to India. So that's the first way that it happened in February and March. Some people traveled. Please understand that international travel was still continuing. So people were moving everywhere. And then I will come to that what was happening in India. Second was a source that will say that in Delhi there was certain congregation where international people came, and that became a common source with long day. Because when more people meet with more number of people, the possibility of a spread becomes much large. So these 2 cases, and both where the state and society were equally responsible. And that becomes what I told you, a The international economy was at the level of absolute denial, and that's the reason that kind of movement of goods and services were continuing from China. Let us agree that China is the global supply chain because they lead the global supply chain in terms of sharing sizable proportion of commodity market. Every commodity that we see, including our laptop or music system or our clothes, some of the ingredients come through China, not only in India but across the globe. And people started having a joke about the United States when Trump started mocking China, and they started saying that the United States president cannot use toilet because the toilet paper comes from China. Because the United States doesn't use toilet, which is a statement of fact. But yes, that is not a statement of fact that they cannot survive. They can import from other countries. But what I'm basically arguing and telling you, so let's look at some of the things. Like 24th February, American President visited with a large contingent, and the millions were there. Then on March 8th, and then on March 13th and 15th, where there was an episode of Tablighi Jamaat had a meeting in Delhi, in Nizamuddin area. And that was another large scale gathering. On March 24th, on the day of Ramadan, the then UP Chief Minister had a large gathering and he met with the people in Ayodhya. All of it was continuing bypassing the government advice. The government of India to maintain social distance. But that was violated and it continued. So if you look at that, so the measures of transmission were bypassed. What I'm saying that disease is socially constructed. Like as a society, we use the disease and how we live. Not only disease, basically all realities are socially constructed, including our everyday life. Like men are strong, women are weak, all of it are socially constructed. It's not only that. Even what is good, what is bad, are socially constructed. As time and space change, those social constructions also change. There are certain objective reality and there are subjective reality. When you look at the role of media, what to drive further and what to contain. So somewhere that we look at, like if we look at in the general population or government and society, these realities that we'll find as constructed. So what media play? Media, if you look at a multiple level, media play a role. Currently, I'm sure all of you are aware of the ongoing war in Middle East.
Yes,
That is a role of media.
Israel, Palestine.
Media, and if you are capable of browsing through different media, the different narratives are there. Which is right, which is wrong, which is true, which is false. It will be immature, and as an academician, I would not be saying which is right, which is wrong. I will only say there are multiple narratives. One of the authors was saying that India during colonial time, will it say that occupiers' actions are valid? In 1930, if we imagine 1930, India of 1930, and action of the radicals in India, vis-a-vis what is happening in Middle East. We are not going into that, but what I am saying, these realities are socially constructed. If you look at the media from perspective of most powerful, what kind of narrative it is. If you look at the reality from the perspective of victim, another kind of reality that what you see. It's as common as, I always give the example of white beating and Harrison. So if you ask the man will try to say that what was the person at the work and what happened when he came home, what was happening, and then he lost his temper and he engaged in violence. But if you talk to the women of the same family, the women will give you the narrative of the episode, the details how the beating took place. That is both are reality. It depends on our viewpoint and our vantage point which reality we accept and amplify. Similarly, it happened with me. What narrative that media accept as quote unquote truth and what narrative media amplified, unverified, saying from the sources. Because that's what remains in the domain of the media. With the social media coming in, the situation become more complex. We really do not know what we are consuming. And then I was just talking to coming here, and we are talking about the award that Duane has got as a fact check, the best media award as a sound index of something that he has got. Why did he get the award? He get the R capable that we get swayed away by the spurious news depending upon our own vantage point. But news are fair. News are, that's what we have, the term have come as paid news, fake news. I'm not getting into that. Who is calling it, who is having it, who is peddling it. Let's not, I cannot do that. I can only remain focused on COVID, and through that we can understand that what it happened. So if we look at, like, we try to work with some of the global media and some of the Indian media. These are the channels that we took. We can't do all the media, so we took some of these and then we tried to create some kind of it. So from where the news was coming on COVID, usually the blue and darker ones are the more. So the news was coming from America, Europe, and Latin America, Asia, Africa, Australia, New Zealand. They were relatively quiet. Region, they were not coming back. And the second, the information base, I'm talking about the April, May, until April, May 2020. So that is. Then the global media, the terms that you do, and that is tells that how we are. So you China virus, Wuhan virus, deadly virus. By the convention, every media house is aware that no disease and no ill functioning can be associated with a particular country, because that qualified as much as what you call xenophobia. So the xenophobia is unacceptable. But look at global media. These are not Indian media, these are the global media houses. They are using the terms. So definitely then novel. If you look at these terms and then the following, the terms in global media, how to contain. So enemy, what? COVID is enemy. We have to war against the COVID. So how to have a defense system? What is the weapon in the war against the enemy? So the terms that we see, so the attack, fire, victory, hunter, virus hunter, the terms are more like the military terminology. And the moment we use the military terminology, that also means, and like one of the important terms that you will, Chinese Chernobyl. I'm sure all of us know about Chernobyl.
Yes, sir.
Chernobyl was a place where
Ukraine.
nuclear leakage happened in then Russia,
Yes, sir.
USSR, which actually ultimately led to the disintegration of the country in years to come. So, and that definitely kind of phobia. So, coronaphobia, infodemic. That's a kind of pandemic, so what we call it infodemic. So, what are the outcomes that we do? The government control over the citizen rights. Like India acted as what is called the disaster act, because COVID was considered as disaster. And the Ministry of Home Affairs had all the power to decide the movement of people. So in one, like all our freedom under Article 14 became restricted. That was restricted. We have the article. Why? Because COVID protocol under Disaster Management Act of the pre-independent came under that system. So what are the myths that we do? 4 categories of myths we see. So as I told you, no, but they did say COVID is not transmitted from human to human. This was the most disastrous myth, because COVID ultimately we came to know is spreading from people to people. And that's the reason that later it happened, what we call it the social distancing. So, conspiracy theory. Some people started blaming 5G. That COVID is happening because of 5G. Some people said that COVID was created as a bio weapon by China because China want all other economy to finish and then survive as a global power. All of what myths, but they did have the place in the media and the global media. On a containment strategy or the diagnostic strategy, there was large problem in terms of even the vaccine. There are people who did not take vaccine. That one is definitely the highest number of tennis superstar Djokovic. I'm sure all of you know.
Yes.
Djokovic did not take vaccine. He did not play in the Australian Open. He was deported, but he said, "No, I will not take vaccine." Now they studied from MIT, those who are interested in health, please read. And they are saying that COVID vaccine is responsible somewhere for the large number of death through thrombosis. So certain kind of heart ailment condition. But now we all have taken the vaccine, so don't feel bad. We all are in the same boat. That's what it happened in the pandemic, that we do not know what are we dealing with. So, but interesting, therapeutics is a bizarre case. Like in India, some people started taking bath in cow dung. And they said by taking cow dung bath, they will not get COVID. Some people started drinking cow urine, that by drinking urine, they will not have COVID. Why did they do it? Please understand. That's important. See, our job is not to make fun of any section of people. Our job is to understand those behaviors. Why did they do it? They did it because there is an uncertainty. And they thought, say, I have not seen anybody doing that with a cancer. Or if you fell, if you broke your leg, you go to the hospital directly, get X-ray done. Nobody go and take the bandage of cow dung and drink cow urine, that broken leg will be fixed by tomorrow morning. Nobody does. Why? Because the treatment is known. For COVID, treatment was not known. So they thought anything that they can do may make them protected with the COVID, which was not the case. So treatment regimen, and then definitely all that substances that we all have eaten during the COVID, from methi, adrak, giloi, and all that we have eaten, we do not know what that has done to our body. Because the problem is, गिलोय खाने में कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं है, अदरक खाने में, दालचीनी खाने में कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं, कितना खाना है कि कोविड ना हो, प्रॉब्लम इसका है. Nobody knows the measurement. And even our Ayush ministry said that eat it without telling how much. So people who had more money ate more and accumulated more garbage in the body. Now the problem is they do not know how to treat it. Because now you have a different ailment. Like it's a problem of this India, I always say there is a government-induced disease and a government-induced treatment system that we call it endocrine. Earlier it was कि वो आयोडीन की कमी से घेरा रोग होता है, बचपन में हमने पढ़ा. अभी के बच्चे वो नहीं पढ़ते. Because भारत सरकार ने somewhere in 82, 83 और 85 onward सारा नमक आयोडीन नमक कर दिया. Fine. अब now people eat iodine namak. You need 1 teaspoon of iodine in your lifetime. With the iodized salt, now the human body who was not having deficiency of iodine, क्योंकि ग्वाइटर रोग तो सबको नहीं होता था ना, घेरा रोग तो 2-4 आदमी को होता था, बाकी सारे लोग बैलेंस थे आयोडीन में. अब सब लोग आयोडीन एक्स्ट्रा and now everybody is taking medicine for life. We do not know what COVID has done to us and what will we all have to do, especially the next generation. So only you are the doomed generation. Your younger brothers are safe. Your younger cousins are safe because they did not take vaccine. Because India could never have a vaccine below 8 years or 11 years. So the worst are you between 12 and 18, because they have long life to live. We will leave the earth. They will still be on the earth. You must be uncertain. Media should have told us the future is uncertain. Be careful. Don't do over.
Yes, sir.
They kept saying, keep going over. Look at this Times Magazine. Times Magazine showed, that's a report that they did, that COVID reporting was 23 times more in English newspaper compared to Ebola. Ebola is 100%, almost near 100%, 95%, best is 99%, I would say. If one touch Ebola, person is dead. COVID death rate is low. But still there were more repeating on COVID. Why? Because COVID reached the United States, Ebola was contained in Africa. If we look at that, so global recession, travel ban, if all of these words we take, then it will be something. The important thing that media did was this. One is vindicative reporting against COVID-19. I showed you the different terms that they use. And also, unverified items were amplified. So if somebody said, a powerful person, like Elon Musk said something, it got amplified everywhere. Baba Ramdev said something, it got amplified everywhere. Legal it was certified by the medical council kept shouting, do not do this, it is wrong. Indian Medical Association, IMA secretary and one day I was on panel with IMA secretary. And he kept on saying that please do not say this will be dangerous for the people because COVID is real, it will have a havoc. But doesn't affect. It continued in that. So unverified claims got amplified. This is the one thing that one of the Danish newspaper did. They converted Chinese flag into coronavirus. And the entire country said. The another one, Wall Street Journal, said China is the real sick man of Asia. That means there are multiple layers of mischief. One, that everybody is sick in China, in Asia. But China is the real sick, which we know now. So that Western media perception about Asia got exposed. And this news article was when the relationship between United States and China started deteriorating, and WHO kept trying to douse the fire, which ultimately couldn't because that couldn't. But it is not the case that only China was demonized. Within China, Wuhan was demonized. Look at what China is publishing the report. In China, it is called Wuhan virus. And so Wuhan virus, or what they said, that these wet meat eaters, these pangolin eaters, they are responsible for the virus in China population. Because China also people were dying. And the lockdown in Wuhan took place on those media reports. So, role of media across have been at a difference. Within India, we try to take these, this is just a data sources that I'm giving you. So, English and Hindi mixed media houses that we try to take analysis, and then we compare the global data. So, Chinese virus, Wuhan virus, almost the similar words as of the global media that we work with. If you look at Indian cases, like these are the, I said, unverified claim got amplified. Like ANR in July come up with the news that viruses who fled from the US to US from Hong Kong accused China of coronavirus outbreak. It's exactly what Trump had said. And I run the report in name of some fictitious gentleman who fled to the US, never known who is the person, no identity was ever known, but some fictitious entity, and this news was pushed into the chat. Republic World come in 19 and claim that coronavirus was leaked by Wuhan lab. Just we do not know that which claim, how verification. So the news that came to the people were unverified amplification of different coverage that we saw. And then definitely that major news channels, especially those who are catering to the Hindi, so G News, ABP, Times Now, India News, Aaj Tak, they all started this word Corona Jihad. After months, two high courts in India, the Bombay High Court and the Karnataka High Court, have not only pulled up the law enforcement agency, but had asked even the government to apologize to everybody who was incarcerated from Tablighi Jamaat in name of the coronavirus. So all were put out of the non-flying list. The all governments were sent that instantly that it is not correct. They were wrongly confined. But who did these mean? It continued for almost 6 months. That's what it happened. So what I'm saying that this is how the media news goes. But if you look at I'm not sure if you can read, but basically I'm using the word anxiety, we're using the word fear, we're using the word panic. How many words have come in during this? And these are only two newspapers, the Wire and Indian Express, because one will talk to the print media and one from e-newspaper. So what have they published in different time zones? So we try to create a word cloud with all the news that has come in the media, and this is something that it comes up. So the words that you are saying, so what people have used. So response was one. COVID, health cases, people, country, they were the terms that becomes highlighted. Then community, reported. So all the terms that the media has used in their reporting, we try to put in and then create a word cloud out of it, which I'm sure that even I'm sure the students will be doing, or I'm sure the faculty colleagues must be doing it. So what is the key point? Where should we end this discussion? I thought these four things which became important. One is that we, every society, global community, Indian community, Chinese community, engage in other. So we'll find somebody else responsible for COVID. And then definitely stigma. Like we have seen those video footages and news where doctors were chased down from their own home because they were working in hospitals. But the question is, when people feel sick, then they were queuing in front of hospitals where the nurses and doctors were the only hope that they will survive. When it comes to 2021, April, May and June. Those 3 months of nightmare, I'm not sure that how many of you have lost the dear ones or family members. It remains always uncertain, and every group, every community that I have talked to, somebody definitely have lost. So my respect to those who have lost, and also my anguish to those who behaved insanely because they did not lose anything. So they thought we can say anything and it is fine because we have not lost something. That is the problem of mothering capitalism. Stigma, fear, panic, and what was missing from the media? This is what was missing from the media. And that is what was the determinant. Actually, the health crisis emerged, which COVID war. The focus would have been on each of them. Right from the environment to community to society to individual level, family level, what are the protocols, what are the do's and don'ts? That remain only symbolic to put the government flyer for half a minute, 30 seconds or maybe sometimes 60 seconds on a screen. What government keep on saying, do this, do not. They hardly have a panel discussion on do's and don'ts, on the COVID, how to deal with the disease if one is infected. So that is what was missing from the media. Coming to the last part where I understand, that othering, that how othering was done. Othering usually is there are two sets of two othering. One is crude, one is sophisticated. So people will say, like I gave you the same example, that घर में खाना महिलाएं बनाएंगी, माँ का काम है बच्चा पालना, महिलाओं का काम है खाना बनाना, बच्चा पालना. That is crude. What is sophisticated? My wife is homemaker. As if by saying that the homemaker, the crude reality is not there. It is still there. That is what is the other. So उन लोग नहीं आएंगे. The moment you say उन लोग नहीं आएंगे, वो लोग, हम लोग, that is what is the other. By any group at every level, including among the students. साइंस वाले वो लोग हमारी बात नहीं समझते हैं. सोशल साइंस वाले, अरे वो लोग ऐसे ही वो लोग पढ़ते लिखते नहीं. All of these, the moment we say वो लोग, that is the beginning and end of othering, whether sophisticated or crude remains to be seen. The second part of othering is inferior or alien. When we say certain group, they are not like us. So we know it. So that is inferior. So that means superior behavior. That is one kind of an othering. In that, there is another kind of othering is alien. That we are completely ignorant about the existence of set of people and what do they do. You can know people about religion. If they are living together, why do you not think? I tell you, people in the own family, the mother-in-law, the daughter-in-law, or the father-in-law, and the son-in-law will say, "हम नहीं जानते हो क्या करते." Why? You are living in a family for 30 years. You don't know what the father-in-law does. I'm saying for the boy. लड़कों से उनके ससुर के बारे में पूछिए, आपको नहीं पता क्या करते, कुछ करते हैं. वो भाई से पूछना. And you expect. So othering, I want us to understand either from India, Pakistan, or India, Bangladesh, or Asia, America, there are certain levels of othering. Othering as a process starts from the micro scale to the macro scale. Every scale one has to identify what we do. So these are the two types. During COVID, everybody got exposed with the othering. When people reached hospital, the othering was well to be seen. That is what we are. So, theoretically, what I say, the possibility, as I told you. So, different kind of either it is a self-government conclusion. हम सबसे अच्छा करते हैं. हम लोग अच्छे आदमी हैं. By not saying that is sophisticated othering. By not saying, you are saying कि जो बाकी लोग हैं वो अच्छा नहीं करते हैं. You are not saying it. If I question, और दूसरे मैं कुछ नहीं कहा उनके बारे में. So that is alien. You are creating an alien identity. During COVID, this is exactly what we did. We try to find an enemy who is not us. So in the rural India, they said ये सारों की बीमारियां सारे are not allowed to enter the village. They were kept on the outhouse, on the school, on panchayat bhavan for days and months. A punching bag. So they will create somebody as a punching bag and who is spreading COVID. If that is. Who is not get from vaccine, people are dying. Then another kind of othering comes. Elimination versus science. All of them answer any number of questions there.
If any of you has any questions, please raise your hands. Any questions, please? Yeah, you know. Stand up.
Thank you, sir, for giving such an informative presentation. So, as we look at during pandemic times, the media, ignites people with some good depression, let's say. They don't do so. What can we do to deal with it? So in any kind of issue, not about us, are also going in our country. So how can we deal with it?
Not a question which I deliberately did not deal, because mental health is something which really requires a further, deeper understanding. And if we look at, like, we have a papers, like one of the papers that I was reviewing for Netherlands, and what they were trying to talk that in lockdown, the young generation, what kind of mental health issues that they encounter. And I'm telling about India. India is almost, I always say that India is on a sitting volcano. And we are in complete denial in terms of especially the mental condition of our population. So, and India is a typical case because the stigma which I brought is a larger issue, especially with the mental health. So, the individual is not ready to conceive that person is suffering from mental health. The family members will never agree that the person is suffering from mental health, and I have seen in a high profile case for treatment or a discontinued treatment. So the question coming to directly to your question, that during pandemic, that was one of the major challenge of the same people. And we as something which we as a practitioner of public health, what we did that informal, we reach out to as many as people, even through Indian Medical Association, and we kept only one thing, that whoever is alone and whoever has contacted COVID, the only thing is just keep talking. Because if you stop talking, that person goes to further plunge the person back into the swamp of different kind of mental conditions, which could start at anxiety, can go to depression, and can further elevate as an extreme condition. So one way is that you ask what we do with the citizen is to keep talking. And when I say keep talking, I definitely do not refer to using the mobile phone. The problem is that we are living in a generation where thousands of people in one hall, you will find them all dead. Where everybody is alive only with 5.5 inch screen. And the friends having tea on a shop, or so when they initially in the beginning when some students were talking and the faculty colleagues thought that they will quiet them, I thought let them talk. Because that is something which gave me hope that students can still talk. Because what I actually find that this age group, even in the house, when I go to my friend's house, there are kids. You ask where are the kids? Kids will come. Then where are they gone? They are gone in their mobile. So the generation, and we are culprit of it.
Right.
Let us not blame them. They learn what we do. If I preach them, don't look at your phone, and I do the same, they will also smile if they are obedient. If they are not obedient, then they will tell you on your face, what are you doing? So, my only solution to that, specific to the question, what as a citizen one can do, keep engaging. That's the only thing. About the same situation, so when you talk about COVID, just tell that okay, we will stay together. Even if somebody died, there will be a number of people left on the earth who will see and who will keep your memory alive. See, that is not, no, anybody can die. Death is something only certain. Death is the most certain thing and most uncertain thing at the same time. Because it is certain that you will die, it is not certain when will I die. When is uncertain? It will happen is certain. Many people think that they will not die, but don't worry, it will not die. And we only live, those who will live, will carry on the memory, carry on their memory till good and bad life. So the only thing that is what we
Engaging.
we try to reach out to all our old and current network. And we said, please call. The condition of lockdown, when actually physically you can't even move. And pain becomes, many parents have to go to counseling. If they stop talking altogether, they will not talk. So go home, they are sitting quiet. Especially single who are left at home. then nobody will talk. What will they do? There's a class dynamics. So that some people will not like to talk to the White House. They will keep quiet for days, for months, and glued to the television, seeing the doom. Doesn't matter who is responsible for the doom, but doom is certain. The problem is that, how does it matter who is responsible for doom? The doom is there. That is good enough to bring global mental peace and definitely the level of attack. So, your question is very important.
Sir, I have one question. Sir, you use this term Corona Bihar, right?
I did not do the media.
I mean, in your presentation, you use this term. And like when we teach our students, and we've seen that this word is used in a lot of media outlets. So when we teach our students, we tell them, go and see the news, go and read newspapers, and these terms are there.
That is something that I'm sure that you will be teaching. If not, then I might advise you to please add a paper on it. Because every paper, every subject, starting from the core science subject to the social science subject, it is important to teach ethics. And ethics are not something territorially bound. There are global standard ethics. Anything which creates others is not good. That's the first physical standard. So anything which dehumanizes other human beings is not good.
Yes.
Because these are the characteristics of fascist tendency of a society. Because if we dehumanize somebody, then they are fit to be eliminated.
Yes.
The problem is that. Because that's what the history has said. Because if you kill a human being, it's a crime. But killing an evil is not a crime. So the criteria for terminology is one, that any human being feels, I would say, alienated should not be used. Any term that dehumanizes a set of people, doesn't matter their number. It could be a small, big, large, whatever. Even for criminals, we never use the word criminal. We always use the word accused until convicted. How we use the word criminal? I really find it worrying that how a responsible media under ethical journalism can use the term criminal for anybody, irrespective of the political spectrum or social spectrum, because they are only accused. I'm sure the media no person is here, you will have a better answer than I. I hope I'm on track. You cannot use the word criminal until convicted, because they are only accused of a crime,
Right.
which may be falsely accused. But how to do it? There's only thing keep saying to the students, let us hope that they will pick up the good things. After understanding that why it is not good. And that is why I took the global perspective. So it is not a problem of India only, it's a global problem. And especially when there is a global fanaticism on rise, then such problem we encounter. We have encountered the problem during 2030s, 1930s and 20s. We are encountering the problem in 2020, which is unfortunate, and in a way, I'm sure that this world order is not going to stay the way it is. But in harmony, people live in faith, people do not live in doubt. Because if we start doubting everybody, who will we live? We can't doubt everybody. We have to start with faith. And especially as a teacher, I start with faith. I do not start with, ये बच्चे मेरे कॉपी में चोरी जरूर करेंगे. How will I teach them? If I start with doubt in the mind of a student, how will I teach them? Because I want them to be a good citizen. If I think that they will be the hate monger, I will not teach them. I will rather sit back home rather than contributing in creating a group of hate mongers. So our job as a faculty colleague, I would say, we have to have faith in them, and when they bring such terms, then let us explain to them that why such terms are significant.
Right.
That's the only thing we can do. So we can deconstruct this whole idea of xenophobia.
Yes.
and othering. That's why I'm handling it on othering. And I'm saying that othering is in our family. We have to be careful even in choosing words within family. So many people say, फिर तो stand-up comedy नहीं करेंगे. भाई वो comedy बता के कर रहा है. The purpose of the comedy is only to make you laugh. There is no disrespect for anybody. That is to be the key. So for fun it is fine, but you can't be dehumanizing another human on purpose of it. And that's what I say that Corona jihad and some media houses have apologized because I have seen them running the apology because High Court said that you have to run the apology for 12 hours. So they ran apology for 12 hours. But then that is not the purpose. Suppose if I did not watch the television for those 12 hours. It could be. I'm traveling. I'm on the air. I'm on air. From traveling from one country to another country. I did not have time to watch. But I have watched that. So, but that is how society becomes worse and better. It's a continuous process. But thank you for bringing it.
Does media was part of another politics, global political agenda, or was actually misleading people, or it was working towards awareing the people to fight against terrorism? What was the exact role of media during this?
See, my understanding of analysis of the media goes for year and ever. I did not look at after that. I would say that it would not be appropriate to say that media on purpose was misleading. Yes, they were running a certain agenda depending upon their own location. Let's also understand that media currently is funded by the market. So when market funds the media, that agenda of market is to be served. So if the agenda of market is to not let quote unquote negative image coming out of the economy, then it will be subverted. Did they do it on purpose? Polarizing people? I would give them the benefit of doubt that they did it intentionally. Because there was panic all around and they were uncertain at times what are they doing. But what was important, like I was quite following American media during the time. And American media, especially CNN is openly supporting the Democrats. So the president was Republican. So they were absolutely after Trump on every meeting. So Trump consuming sanitizer to everything that came to us. We knew that, okay. So I was quite happy then that, okay, our Prime Minister is better at this, not trying to consume sanitizer. I can't believe that most powerful state head can do that.
Yes.
If that report is correct, I will put that can be. But I do not think that anybody can go to that level of demonizing. But anyway, forget about it. The substantive question that you are saying, the role of media during the period, I would say it remained mixed. Like in United States, CNN was criticizing the government. Today, if you look at CNN is supporting the government, dehumanizing the entire population. So the role of media, one has to see in context of the political power and the media. The problem what has happened in a polarized society, media has also become one polarized. So if media is of the ruling party, they will not criticize the government even if anything happens. So that's an unfortunate situation. The unfortunate situation is that media is as good as the propaganda arm of the government. It's as simple as that. But what can you do for it? You can't. But at least they have said it. So you do not want to see that, don't see it. I have no solution to that. But yes, the role of media, that is why it need to be analyzed.
Sir, in the second wave of COVID, during the second wave of COVID, who was
directly responsible for the loss of many lives? The Miss Corona itself or the government shape?
Both for the reason. One, that Corona was ending, and I can't draw the graph, but otherwise, I would have. I would just tell you, imagine a statement. Any pandemic,
Sir,
it is a basic understanding of pandemic. Say the first wave would be smaller, second wave would be much longer. It is a proportion is 1:18. If one person has died in first wave, in the second wave, 18% will die. So in India, when the first wave was at peak, we should have been more careful. That in the second wave, there will be people dying. It is like you have ever seen fire burning. कभी अगर आपने खुद से चिता जलती देखी, तो जब चिता में आग लगती है, तो सबसे पहले धीरे धीरे जलती है. एक बार वो होगा, and then slowly it will keep flame high and people will start moving back. Exactly that is how the pandemic works. And then ठंडी होते 12 घंटे लगते. That is what we call the long day of pandemic. So in the second wave day, there are certain government policies which are responsible. Like unfortunately the boom of Uttarakhand should not have been allowed with a large number. It should have been allowed.
नहीं सर वो धुंधला हो जाएगा 100 मेगापिक्सल.
It should be allowed only with a symbolic number, so that both are like they did with Hajj. Hajj they did not have.
Sir, well, we don't have proper data infrastructure.
बच्चों
We
की-
don't have I think for the second
No,
wave,
nothing to do.
government is responsible for the loss of
I'm not saying it is not, but it did not generate. So thank you for the question.
थैंक यू सर.
Thanks a lot, sir, for your insightful lecture. And it was a very well researched, I would say, lecture. And I have many questions. Maybe I can ask you later. Now, I would like to call upon Dr. Om Prakash Kushwaha to give the vote of the thanks. Sir, please.
Thank you, sir. Vikram sir is my teacher. I have learned many things with sir, and I have attended many classes. So Vikram sir is always my teacher. So I thanks to Vikram sir and thanks to all colleagues and also students, and also I thanks to Dean ma'am, Vice Chancellor ma'am for giving me permission for this lecture. Thank you so much.
Okay, it is time to go, I know, but before we leave, I request all the students and the staff to come to forward for a group photograph. So all the staff members and the students, I request to come forward for a group photograph.
लाइव ही रखना है सर.
मेरे को दिखा.
चलो आगे चलो आगे चलो. खुद ही आ रहा हूँ अभी. किसको बोलना पड़ेगा यार जिसको फोटो नहीं खिंचवानी.
ये है क्या है?
अरे तुम आगे चलो स्टेज पे चलो फोटोज के लिए.
नहीं, हमने
स्टेज के लिए प्लस फोटोज.
अरे लेट हो गए.
गाइस इधर आ जाओ इधर. 8 मिनट कर दो बस. बहुत बढ़िया. चलो 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 भाई 5 मिनट की बात है. फोटो खिंचाओ निकलो घर. अब तू बड़ी भाग रही थी.
अरे उस लोगों को बोला तो सर को देना है लास्ट में.
जल्दी 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 करो गाइस. जल्दी जल्दी फास्ट फास्ट. किसको नहीं खिंचवानी फोटो. फोटो किसको नहीं खिंचवानी. तुझे नहीं खिंचवानी. लाइव बनाई पकड़ लियो. जो जो जो
अबे देख कोई रानी
इसे पीछे लो जाएगा
इधर से आ जाए, इधर से पूरे कवर आ रहे हैं, इधर से आ जाएंगे लेकिन पूरा कवर आएगा। ये वो सबसे किनारे वाली फोन में भी लूँ?
जियो टैग लेनी है।
क्या लेनी है?
जियो टैग।
अच्छा
इसे कट कर। हाँ जियो टैग ले लो।
जाओ जाओ जाओ। क्वालिटी तो बात बड़ी देर है। एक मिनट रुक जाओ रुक जाओ।
ऐसे ले गया बस एक फोटो आ गई ना।
एक तो ब्लर आई होगी, एक नॉर्मल होगी।
बस ठीक है बहुत।
ये लाइव कार्ड में किसका है?
थैंक यू।